How you doing? I'm meteorologist Paul Diano with your KOMO 4-Dub, the Western Washington Weather Webcast for Tuesday, February 16th. It was a wet morning, heavy rainfall while we were sleeping, but that's it. We've got blue sky out in front of us for a while, and it's going to be a true taste of spring over the next several days. As a matter of fact, just looking back at the weather history in February, rarely do we get more than about 3 or 4 days of sunny, dry weather in February. We'll get a day or two here or there, but rarely do we get a long stretch of spring-like, dry, mild weather, but that's exactly what we're going to have for a while, and let me show you the reason why. As we roll on forward, look back in the record books here, taste of spring, a sunny day, that would be 50% or more sunshine, 60 degrees or above. When does that happen typically? Well, the first time it happened last year was April 6th. 2008 had to go back to April 11th. We're going to be pretty close to that coming up by the end of this week. Some of the foothill communities, if the east wind really kicks up, and I think it will, may get into the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Upper level high pressure moving in. Here's our storm that's moving out. That's the rain we got on Tuesday. The next couple storms, that low pressure area, no chance. This will act like a bouncer, a deflector shield, kicking all the storms up to the north, a little bit of moisture leaking down to the south toward California. But this is going to keep us dry, and since it's not moving, our forecast isn't going to be changing. So we stay mild and dry for the next week. How about this? The rest of today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all dry. Chilly in the morning because of clear skies, but highs in the 50s with the warmest day likely going to be on Friday, with a high of 57 degrees. So the question you probably never heard asked by a weather guy, what does spaghetti have to do with a long-range weather forecast? Well, there actually is a reason for it, and it's not just because I'm Italian. We look at something called spaghetti models. Now, this is a great example of a spaghetti model here, and it kind of looks like we have different strings of spaghetti. Basically, what the government computer model forecasts do, they give you one final output, but what they'll also do is they'll run about 20 or 25 different versions, just little tweaks of the initial forecast model, and see how they play out differently over time. And each of these lines that make up these spaghetti strings show you each individual forecast output for that given forecast model run. Now, the strings are really close together when we're just basically starting off the model because we're all starting at the same place. The interesting thing to see is where does it go over time and how consistent are all the forecast models. This is looking at the upper level winds. I'm curious about this line right here, and watch as we go through time here as this ridge is going to build in. We'll stop it right here about 2 days from now on Thursday. Look at that huge ridge of high pressure. That's why we're going to stay so dry. So my question is, how long does it stay consistent for all of those individual computer models to stay dry? We're going to keep rolling through time. Now we're out over the weekend, and still, even though they're getting a little farther apart, you still see that huge bubble of high pressure on Saturday, and then Sunday, and then Monday, even next Tuesday. Most of the computer models keep that ridge in place. What does that tell me? That just about every little perturbation or change in the computer model still shows that we're going to be dry to the top of next week. Now we look at a different forecast output here, which shows you what's going on with one individual forecast model, and of course the color is precipitation. Low pressure passing by to our south over the weekend, but notice a lack of color, and we're all the way up now to Tuesday of next week, staying mainly dry. So just about every different type of computer model, whether it's an ensemble with all those little spaghetti lines, or even just an operational forecast model showing you it is going to rain or it's not, they all keep us mainly dry until the top of next week. A very abnormal pattern, but we have very high confidence that this is exactly what's going to happen. A lot of sunshine, chilly mornings, mild afternoons, and who knew that spaghetti helped us make our long-range forecast. That's your KOMO 4-Dub for today. Check in every weekday morning. I'll update it for you. Enjoy the sunshine.